Hey, g'day everybody, and welcome back to the patch notes for Atlas. And we're looking at a wipe. The season will start pretty much the day after this recording. I appear to be about to get a visitor very soon while I'm recording this, and you get to see my face this time around in between the bits and pieces that I do. It's hello, Charlie. Alright, we'll start off with the bug fixes, and we'll try and get a few of those out of the way. There's actually quite a decent list of bug fixes this time around, which I'm not too happy, well, I am quite happy about. Some of them are quite simple, some of them are a little bit more, I guess, fixing quite a few things. There's actually a PvP fix in here, which I hope that the PvP people are quite appreciative of, as they said that the initial change was going to be quite bad, and that was around the bleed on the industrial weapons, which appears to have been removed. The bleed is gone, and there is a higher damage on the industrial weaponry. Anyway, in terms of bug fixes, there seems to be quite a number of bug fixes around the tame house specifically. There's a little bit of stuff around there around controllers. While we clean out this eye of yours, conjunctivitis cat, cat in lap. Alright, so there's a hell of a lot that's going on around the tame house, as we were just mentioning. There's a bunch around the Pegasus ship that was actually done, so there's a few fixes and things that are going on there. Apparently there was a lot of stuff with collisions. I personally have had issues where going through portals, I would actually run into an object that was basically in the center of the portal, and it might bounce you off. Other times you would just collide with it in the middle and you get stuck there, and portals weren't working in general, so sometimes you'd just be sitting there looking at all these swirls going around you. And yeah, that looks like some of that stuff's going to be fixed. The cursed temples had low health, that apparently is getting fixed. There were a lot of issues around the giant turtle tame, which are also being fixed. As I mentioned, there was also some fixes coming for the weapon damage on the industrial rifle. They basically increased the damage and removed the bleed. There's a lot of problems with the bleed because bleed damage is quite powerful, especially when you're actually stacking it, which is actually a big problem on the PvP side of things. And you could basically have people taking out all of your defenses at range using bleeds, which would have actually been quite a problem. One of the interesting things that I saw in this patch is that having opened up the PTR to the general public, they've actually had more feedback than just what the testers have been actually able to provide. That is the NDA group, which I'm also a part of. And I've also noticed that even with the NDA people, they've actually been getting feedback themselves. So there's a few people in there that have actually been getting, some of their own people are coming onto the PTR, testing stuff, and then feeding information through the NDA testers to basically provide that information directly to the devs. And they've pulled out some of the stuff. So Time Worn was going to be in, which is a new quality that was going to come into the game. And the Industrial Wonder content was also being pulled from this particular patch due to feedback that they're still too buggy and not well thought out enough yet to actually put in. And so it's interesting to see that you've actually got this thing where they've opened up the PTR to the public, where a lot of people have said that it should be, and now that the people are in there, they're actually getting some decent feedback, which is allowing them to make decisions about what should and shouldn't go into the patch. And it'll be interesting to see how that one actually plays out, mainly because there is a very, very big list of patches here. People can actually go and check it out for themselves, and I'll leave a link down in the description. Otherwise, if you're on the official Discord, it's all linked there, or if you're in my Discord, it's also linked in there in one of the channels. Yeah, big long list of stuff that's basically around not so much fixing the modular ships. There's some stuff around the weighting of ships and stuff like that. There's a little bit around the medium sails. Apparently they were going too good, so they've actually had to back off on that one as well. Obviously lots of stuff around the new stuff they've added around the Pegasus ship, and it's just all the other stuff that I just mentioned recently. Yeah, okay, well that's pretty much all the stuff on the fixes. For everybody that's here around Xbox, that one's still a bit nebulous. I've actually asked for a little bit more detail. Again, I haven't actually got it in time for the video, so unfortunately I can't really offer much more than what's actually listed. All it says is improved memory performance and improved network connection, which is not very much information. I would actually have liked them to be a little bit more specific, and that's what I've asked them, but I haven't actually got that information back yet. That being said, I know that Redbeard did post in the official Discord that he had a slew of fixes ready to go, but they hadn't been 100% fixed yet. He was given a little bit of shit by some people about that. He gave some shit back, and we still haven't actually had any specifics. So it'd be nice to have more detail there for your Xbox players. Unfortunately, they're not providing detailed information around the fixes, probably because they haven't actually got any. But at the same time, you know, you're not any worse off than what you were before. hopefully with memory performance and network connection improvements, maybe it will be better than before, but we're going to have to rely on you for the feedback to tell us whether or not that performance and connectivity is actually better, as they haven't actually provided the specific situation in which they are better. So yeah, if you are on Xbox and you do jump on, let me know, has your game improved or not? Anyway, alright, on to the new stuff. So first up, we will cover off about the Maw, as it's one of the features I haven't actually even looked at yet. I know a little bit about it, whereas we'll finish off on the new mini bosses that are actually available in the map. So with the Maw, it's a whole new region which seems to be specifically designed around ships of the damned and the army of the damned. So this probably will be the army of the damned themed area, as they were talking about having pirate ships brought back into the game, and then a specific spot where the Army of the Damned themed stuff might actually turn up, and who knows, we may get some other themed areas. But I'm actually looking forward to those pirate ships. So it's the pirate ships out of single player, and maybe they'll be able to tweak them like some of the mods are, because some of the mods actually have it where they've got degrees of difficulty of these pirate ships. And so it'd be nice to see them actually expand upon the idea of the pirate ships, instead of just being this little condensed little basic thing that they've already got in single player, expand that into a whole raft of difficulties that the player can actually have some quite interesting things to do. And then they're going to have these themed areas where with the Maw itself, once you go into the Maw, you're kind of stuck there until you actually gain a specific set of resources which allows you to then leave the Maw. And what happens is you actually get a new item on your ship, which is a lantern. I believe you access the lantern from your steering wheel, and as you do things in the Maw area, you gain essence, which applies to that lantern, and that might be whether you're just sailing around. So the more you sail around, you actually passively accrue it. It could be that you kill ships of the damned, you kill other people in the area, or you obtain relics from the flotsam, and that will actually gain you essence until the lantern is full. That will then give you the essence of the Maw, which then allows you to actually leave. There seems to be what essence and solidified essence. Now, what is it? Essence of the Maw is a vicious smoke that be collected within the lantern. Okay, so essence is what you're actually collecting, and then a semi-solid crystal glows with a diminished blue hue. So I assume that once you've actually got enough essence, you will condense that into a solidified essence, and that's the resource, I assume, with the portal that allows you to leave the Maw area and get out. Having played around a little bit with the next section, which is actually the bosses, there is a boss region within the Maw. So you will need to actually go in there to be able to do the power stones, which will then allow you to access the Kraken. Or at least that has been my experience on the test servers, which may or may not make live. Just making sure that people understand that, as it is the test realm and it could change at any given time before it even goes live, as we have actually seen before, where they actually made a change just prior to launch and then things broke. Anyway, on to the final part, which is the new mini bosses. They have 7 new mini bosses. There is a ancient fire elemental, elder rock elemental, cicada, which is a deep sea crab, buwaya, which is a cursed crocodile, Eba, the bear god, crystal scorpion, and the sentinel, which is a cyclops. In terms of these bosses, they've actually gone and actually listed these out nicely for you. So the ancient fire elemental, which is kind of like a purple infused volcanic fire elemental, it is found in A7. The elder rock elemental is found in the Golden Age ruins on F4. The deep sea crab is found within the Golden Age ruins on L7. The cursed crocodile is found within G8. The bear god is found within L3. The crystal scorpion is found within M13, which at the time of playing the Maw, it was basically in there on the test server. And the sentinel, being the cyclops, is found on E1. Alright, and that pretty much brings us to the end of the patch notes. And obviously, as I said, there's a couple of things that didn't quite make it in, but there's a fair list of things going on there. So they've obviously produced all of these new bosses. They didn't manage to put in the finalized industrial content, and they haven't released any of the new stuff. So finally, the last thing is basically what's coming up on the roadmap. If we're not going to have the industrial content, we still need the industrial content finalized. The new mini bosses are finalized. Other than that, they have listed that the visual changes for the modular ships is still to come. There's the ship in the bottle, the trade system, and I believe Cervantes Rest may or may not be coming in this patch. Didn't really see that in the patch notes, but Cervantes Rest is on the PTR, so people can actually see that if they really want to. So we'll find out if that comes out very, very soon. But other than that, there's still a little bit of content that they haven't done. They were looking at revamping a few of the things to make it a bit new player friendly. And we'll see whether that comes out with the map design changes. They're trying to, from the looks of it, make it a bit more of a central map where if you do go north, you get to the Arctic. If you do go south, you go to the Antarctic. East and west will take you to Africa or South Africa. And then you still have the Rookie Cove, which is kind of off to the side. And they're looking at ways of basically making it nicer for the newer player, where Rookie Cove kind of did that, but didn't quite give you all of it. But it is certainly some of it. The other part, as I mentioned, was the pirate ships. And so we've yet to see that even put onto the roadmap, even though they said that it definitely is part of the roadmap. And then there's all this slew of Xbox fixes that they talk about releasing, but they haven't actually done that yet. Hopefully that will happen soon. In the past, I said that I was anticipating 2 patches, so this one and one more. But with the amount of work involved, I'm probably going to have to revise that estimate still to another 2 patches. Just getting all the industrial content out. And a lot of these things, especially like pirate ships and ship in the bottle, you'd expect that all to come in one patch. But then fixing the modular ships, surely that will take up an entire patch by itself. But yeah, have to wait and see. Anyway, thanks for listening in as usual. My name is Skarvig. You get to see me in the flesh now for those people that don't normally see me on stream. Other than that, make sure if you enjoyed the video, you go ahead and like it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. And I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.